Looks like we're all here. Commissioner Lavander's not going to be here today. So let me check the time here. We got a few seconds here. It's a Okay, before we start, I'd like to remind all the commissioners when you are about to speak, please remember to unmute yourself, your microphone. It's the little red button, and when you tap it, it turns green. And be sure to state your name when you are speaking. Also, for voting on any measure or action today, we'll be using the voting touchscreen. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the May 17th, 2022 Senior Citizen Commission meeting at 2 o'clock. Clerk Gilliam, can we do a roll call?
Have you all used your buttons to sign in?
Oh, here. Commissioner Koblenz, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, thank you. I have a little bit of a
Okay.
dry cough.
Commissioner Farley, would you like to do the honors? Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
Thank you, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome our new commissioner, Maureen Martin. Commissioner Martin, it's nice to see you. Would you like to say a few words to introduce yourself? And you can turn on your microphone.
So you hear me now. I'm a registered nurse, and I am also a person who works with the pharmaceutical industry to ensure safety in pharmaceutical products. I have really loved working with my community from the start, wherever I've been, from college years or before. My father was a big believer in public service, so he volunteered in Vietnam when I was a child, and it's just stuck with me, and that's why I'm here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So today we have Bob Molinaro, who is the Senior Volunteer Patrol Administrator, and he's here to speak to us. Welcome, Bob.
Sorry. Okay, well, thank you for having me here. I represent Station 20 Encinitas, the Senior Volunteer Patrol. From my perspective, my background, I'm not law enforcement. I was in risk management and insurance for my whole working career, primarily municipal liability and lawyer's malpractice. In fact, most of our volunteers, in fact, virtually all of them, have no law enforcement background. We have a couple federal government former employees, but typically we're the nurses, the lawyers, the doctors, the dentists, and just your average citizens that want to give back. I've been doing this since the fall of 2018, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did, especially from my wife's perspective, because I do it 3 days a week, so I'm out of the house 3 days a week. Anyway, some of the things that we do, our main focus is to assist the deputies at our station. Their requests for assistance, either if there's a traffic accident, we go and we assist them in performing traffic duties. We also, when there's an accident also, we'll wait at the scene for the tow truck to come rather than having the deputies tie up their valuable time so they can go back and do what they need to be doing, and we'll sit and wait for the car, for the tow truck. We also will do vehicle transport to the victim. If the car gets totaled and they need to go a ride home, we'll provide that service to them also. We run errands for the deputies, the detectives, bringing cars back to and from Ridgehaven to the radio shop to get repairs made, again, so that the deputies can focus on law enforcement and not use their time unwisely. For the community, we have a program that I believe was started in San Diego and has now gone nationwide that's called You Are Not Alone, or an acronym of YANA, Y-A-N-A. And we provide welfare checks on our senior citizens with a daily call every morning to make sure they answer the phone and that they're alive. We also, for those that want it, we will go and visit them once or twice a week, depending on, once for sure if they want to visit. If we have time available, we'll go visit them twice a week. Many times, we're the only people they see other than a possible caregiver. So it's a rewarding experience for us, because that truly is giving back at its ultimate. You know, these poor souls, they've got a myriad of medical issues, and it's really sad when you look at their bio sheet and, you know, they're 10 years younger than you are. And it's like, oh, but for the grace of God. We also provide a free service to citizens in vacation checks. When you go on vacation, we'll come and visit your property. We'll check all the doors. We'll walk the property to make sure no windows are broken. It's not uncommon that we'll find, if there's a water leak, we'll see the water around. We'll call the homeowner, we'll shut the water off, we'll coordinate with a plumber, and while they're on vacation, they can, you know, stay happy. If we get in a situation where we find a door unlocked or a window broken, our first response is to pull back and call for deputy assistance and wait for them to come. And then we go based on their guidance, whether they want us to stay or to leave. And that's a free service. We do that 5 days a week. We also do neighborhood patrols. You may see us in your neighborhood. We have white cars that say volunteer patrol. And so we have prescribed neighborhoods. We patrol in the cities of Encinitas, outside the Covenant in Rancho Santa Fe, Del Mar, and Solano Beach, and of course Cardiff. Typically, right now we have about 28 volunteers. We were almost up to 40 prior to COVID. We had a couple people pass away. We had some retired, some moved away, and our ranks got depleted, but we just received 4 new people that just went through the academy back in April. So we're able to staff 3 cars a day on patrol. So in addition to the neighborhood patrols, sometimes the crime prevention people will say there's a specific area in Del Mar, or something going on at the lagoon, or something's not right at the bathrooms at Leo Mullen Park. In fact, that was a situation not too long ago. There were some unscrupulous people there, and so we had a call from a citizen. We started doing extra patrols, and now everything's back to normal. For the mothers that bring their kids there, they didn't want to be confronted with, some kind of criminal element. We do school patrols. We patrol all the schools, shopping centers, civic buildings. We report back to the deputies if we find an abandoned vehicle. So we're an extra set, or in most cases, 6 to 8 extra sets of eyes for our deputies at our station. We have no arrest powers. We're non-confrontational. We wear uniforms. Like I said, we drive in the marked cars, and the only thing that we're allowed to do is to issue citations for handicap parking violations. And since we're the ones that are out mostly looking at those in the shopping centers and around, we're probably writing the most tickets for that. And in Encinitas, it's an expensive mishap. It's $348. In Solano Beach, it's $347.50. And it's not uncommon, because we're all at the age where we forget things. And so it's not uncommon that the person that parked there had the placard, didn't, put it up for whatever reason. We give them advice that if they don't have it with them, they can come down to either the station and show it to one of the deputies, or come here. I think they can remedy it here at City Hall also. We do park patrols, the community park, the county park. We do foot patrols where we'll get out and walk. Our people really need to do that. But we'll walk downtown Encinitas, we'll walk downtown Del Mar. And the other thing that we do is many of us, although it's not required, many of us are on a emergency call-out list, because certain things happen when we're sleeping. There's a murder, or there's a serious accident where the deputies need assistance to do traffic control, to block, to secure crime scenes, et cetera. So many of us are on this list to get called out in the middle of the night to help. And we also assist them when they have the drunk driving set up for, typically before holidays and things like that. So minimum age to join us is 50, so we're always looking for volunteers. And that's about it. Unless you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to try to answer for you.
Thank you, Bob. Commissioners, do we have any questions for our speaker today?
This is Commissioner Hanwood. I have one question.
Yes.
Do most of your volunteers work 3 days a week, or
No.
whatever they
No.
choose?
Typically, our commitment is 1 6-hour shift a week and 1 mandatory meeting a month. So in a normal month, that would be 24 hours plus the meeting. In a month that has 5 weeks, obviously it's more. I work this much because I really enjoy it. And when we were short, we all need people to step up to do things. And I kind of just got into, this is like my new occupation. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go to the gym. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm on patrol. And we have an early car that goes at 8 o'clock to the courthouse with all the papers from the detectives for that day's court session. Normal shift is from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The 8 o'clock car can quit at 2 if both people agree, or they can work the 7 hours that day. And one important thing, there's always two people in our cars. We never go solo. So there's always a driver and an observer. And, one's to protect the other. And the observer essentially does the paperwork and is, the eyes, and the driver's making sure they don't kill anybody in the parking lot. But always two people in a car. So thank you. That was a good question.
So,
Anything else?
Commissioner Farley, I have a question about the process to get the welfare checks. Is it an application, or you just call your office?
The way that works is we have a YANA coordinator, and I'd be happy to give that information to Christy. And there's a vetting process, or I should say an interview. And typically, most of our YANAs are referred by one of their children or a neighbor. And if there's someone else living in the house, typically it doesn't qualify. It has to be kind of a solo person, that unless there's a caretaker that comes and goes. And but if there's a husband and wife and one is elderly, that wouldn't meet our qualifications. But yes, there is a process for that. And for the vacation checks, you can go to the sheriff's website and download the application. The only thing is you can email it in or mail it in, but it has to be signed. We get some that aren't signed. We have to call the people. They've already left for vacation, and it's kind of like, what do? We don't want to go on their property without a signed release. So, any other questions?
This is Rec Services Manager Staten. I'm behind
sorry?
you. I'm behind you. Sorry. I just had a question on how you, like the process to become your position. So you
mean a
obviously have,
volunteer or-
like a volunteer. I guess it's a volunteer, so that you have ticket writing power, or, I mean, like, what's the process? What kind of
Okay.
training do you go
Good
through?
question. Good question. So we start out with someone will come in and say, they'll stop in the station or call and say, I'm interested in becoming a volunteer. So the first step is myself and there's 4 administrators. And it's funny, we play musical chairs and I didn't have a chair last time, so that's why I'm the administrator. And then there's 3 other ones, and it's like, they're so glad that it's finished. But they come in for an interview, and then based on that, we ask them if they have to go on a ride-along with us to see what we do. So there's little paperwork they have to sign, release of liability, and we run their driver's license, et cetera, to make sure, they're not a felon or something that's getting in the car with us, because the radios that we use, we're connected, we're on the same frequency as the deputies, so when we make a mistake, we get back to the station and they go, oh, that was the person that did the wrong thing. And so, we have to be on our guard. So they do the ride-along. If they're still interested, they complete an application, which is, we don't read any of the personal information. It's sent down to Ridgehaven. There's a FBI background check that's done on them by the county sheriff's department. And once they're accepted for that process, once they pass that, they have to attend a 2-week academy that the volunteers and the county put on. In fact, the next one's coming up the last week of June, first week of July. And it's 2 consecutive weeks, either at Ridgehaven or at Deputy Services in Poway. And they go through a myriad of things, a lot of the obligatory stuff, sexual harassment, all that kind of training or classes. There's at least a week donated to the use of the radio, because that's the biggest thing they need. Shows how to show them how to write the tickets. We go through that process as a training thing. And then there's a a morning session of traffic control where one of the motor officers come in and go through the whole process of how to direct traffic, and then trial by fire that afternoon. They take them out to one of the busiest intersections in Poway that's 2 left turns, all the way around, so there's 8 lanes, and it's right down the street from the high school, and God bless them, they do it as school's letting out. So you go out to the center of this intersection, we shut the lights off, the red lights, and that person with the motor officer with them it puts into use the skills hopefully they retained from that morning. But so far, we haven't lost anybody. And so, but it is a little nerve-wracking. And that's why when we're out on patrol and things, there's 2 of us. And the new people that just came out of the academy a month ago, they're teamed with someone who's been doing this for at least 2 or 3 years. And many of our people are upwards of 10 and 15 years. Our payday, if you will, we have a name tag, and we get stars for every 1,000 hours. So we had one gentleman that has, well, they won't fit, but he has 16 stars. So he's 16,000 hours, he's been doing it 20 plus years. So it's kind of like, you get into this, we don't want to get out of it. And it's the nicest group of people. We have ladies, we have men, and it's, we get along pretty good. We're Democrats, Independents, Republicans, and you wouldn't know it. Well, you would know it in a couple instances, but generally, it's one of the nicest group of people that I've been associated with, so. Oh, and somebody asked about the authority. So once you become a senior volunteer, the city council of Encinitas and the city council in Del Mar and Solana Beach have given us the authority to write those tickets. So that's the only ticket we can write. We can't do other parking violations or 72-hour red tags or things like that. That the community service officers or the deputies have to do that. We definitely cannot do any moving violations. We're limited to the handicap sites. That keeps us busy. So
This is Commissioner Ling. I'm just curious. It sounds like there's a lot of training, preparation before you guys go on patrol. Have you ever personally been put in a situation where you were caught by surprise or where the training didn't quite?
2 things. One, we were doing a vacation check out off of Lone Jack at a house, and very nice property. We could tell that the house was alarmed. I mean, sign plus, and they had a standalone casita. So we're checking the doors and windows in the house. Everything's fine. We go around the back, and I open the door to the casita, and it's open. So I go back and I call for deputy assist. In the meantime, on the sheet that you fill out, if you have an alarm system, you put the alarm company, and so I take out my cell phone, I call the alarm company, and I ask them, did they just get a signal in the last, minute from this address? And they said no. So to me, that meant that the casita was not wired into the same alarm system as the house, so that there was no alarm system there. So thinking, okay, so I'm waiting for the deputy. Deputy shows up, and he says, just stay behind me. Next thing out, the gun comes out, and he goes and he says, into the room, into the door, he goes, this is San Diego County Sheriff's Department. I'm armed, show yourself, or you could be shot. And I'm thinking, I'm glad I was behind him. There was nobody there. The owner then called us, because we left a message with them also, and they said that they left it open because there's a restroom in there that the gardener uses. So now we put that right in the notes in our computer system. Whenever we do that house, if the casita's open, it's okay. That happens quite a bit, where in the haste to leave. The other thing that happens more often than not is you'll be writing a citation at Home Depot or wherever, and the person comes out whose car it is. And 99% of them are really nice, and I'd say the overwhelming majority, they just forgot to put it up. So, you know, even if we've written a ticket and they show us the documentation, you know, we just void the ticket. So it's sometimes they'll be giving you the story, it's in my other car, and we say, well, you know, here's your ticket, just get your placard and take it down to the city or bring it to the station with the ticket, and we'll have a deputy review it. A couple of them get heated. One time, had a session, was at the Solana Beach Library. The security guard there had asked if we could help get this big box truck that was blocking 3 handicap spots out of the way. And, you know, the guy was really belligerent. And, you know, so I called for a deputy assist and gave him a description. And the dispatcher goes, "Is he on drugs?" And I'm thinking, whoa, how do I know that? I can't tell. And so I said, I don't know. So while I'm waiting for the deputy to come, the gentleman decides to move the truck around the back, comes back, and he's still being belligerent. At this time, car number 1 shows up, then car number 2, then car number 3, then the canine unit. And I'm thinking, my God. But when they get a call for somebody that's belligerent and you can't identify what the issue is, the people responding really don't know what the issue is either. And they want, even though there was a show of force, it was the least amount of force to try to calm that situation, because, you know, you don't want to shoot somebody in a situation like that. You have the dog, which just looking at the dog would scare you. I mean, Vigo is a nice German Shepherd, but always on the leash. But by and large, I would say, I mean, none of our people really feel threatened. I think they felt more threatened by COVID. And when we came back, you know, having to wear masks, some people didn't want to even ride in the car wearing masks. And I think in retrospect, that was the biggest fear that we had. And we, you know, let's face it, we're the grandparents for most of these deputies based on our age. And so if we ask for help, we're going to get it real quick. So, and the new captain is just a prince, Captain Lopez. So, any other questions?
No?
No?
Thank you so much, Bob.
I'm sorry I took so much time, but thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, we're on to agenda item 5, oral communications. Do we have any speakers today? No, we do not. Item 6, changes to the agenda. Are there any agenda changes? There are not. Item 7, approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the April 19th, 2022 meeting?
This is Commissioner Angel. I'll make a motion that the minutes of April 19th, 2022 be approved.
Commissioner Angel makes the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
This is Commissioner Hanwett. I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Hanwett seconds. Okay, it's time to vote. Get your fingers ready for the touch screen. Motion passes. Agenda item 8, 8A, Senior Citizen Commission Annual Work Plan. This is the work plan that we approved in our last meeting. Before we go through the work plan and ask for any outcomes, I wanted to make sure that both Commissioner Farley and Commissioner Martin have a chance to, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the action items and see if there's any particular ones that you want to participate in. We've got, oh,
Commissioner Martin, I looked at them, but I realized there's a 3-person limit, so I think there was just one option for volunteering.
so I wanted to ask Manager Stanton and Manager Goodsell. We had talked while we were finalizing the work plan that one item in particular, we were concerned that there might be more people than interested because we really kind of consolidated one of the work actions.
So this is Manager Goodsell. We should find out what interests the commissioners have. Let's see what items that they would like to serve on, and then we can go back to that particular work plan and see if it needs to be split in two.
Okay, that's fair. Commissioner Martin, did you have some specific items in mind?
The ones, Commissioner Martin, they all look interesting, but I definitely was looking at 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, and Commissioner Farley? Did you want to add yourself into any of the other? You're good? So 7 and...
This is Manager Goodsell. We do have an opportunity for you to serve on item number 7 and 8.
Commissioner Martin, would you
Thank
like to
you.
start there?
Thank you.
Okay, and no other changes then? All right, let's run through the list very quickly. Work plan item 1, attend city-sponsored and city-partnered local community events, serving as city ambassadors. Do any of the commissioners have anything to report?
This is Commissioner Angel. I attended and volunteered with the Taste of Cardiff in the month of May.
Commissioner Koblenz, I attended the Art Walk. We were part of the co-sponsors for the Art Walk on the 14th. It was very impressive.
Okay, moving on to item 2, identify guest speakers for the monthly meetings to provide education regarding topics related to seniors and find platforms to get the information out to seniors in the community. Do the commissioners have anything to report? Manager Goodsell, do we have other folks lined up?
Not at this time, so if you have any recommendations or suggestions, I'm open to hearing about them.
Thank you. Item 3, engage as organizers and volunteers with local community service organizations and the Community and Senior Center. I just started a few weeks ago as a computer tutor, in addition to my senior lunch on Thursday. So we actually had a problem, I think, with the computers for several weeks, and it turns out when they updated the servers, some of the computers were not happy. I think that problem has been since solved. So that's good, and it's been a good experience so far. Any other commissioners? All right, moving on. Oh, I think this is an important one. Item 4, continue partnership with the Encinitas Rotary Club and explore other Encinitas Service Club partnerships to recognize or promote the Senior Citizen of the Year and Lifetime Achievement Award. Does someone have an update on that?
This is Commissioner Angel. Yes, so this ad hoc committee did meet via telephone, and we discussed the extension to June 1st. We also discussed the application for nomination and concerns we had related to identifying or delineating the difference between the annual and the lifetime achievement awards, and we discussed possible changes to the form going forward because the nomination form has already been approved for this cycle. We're just going to let it go, and we'll meet, moving forward, we'll meet to discuss any suggested changes in the form. So as of now, we voted to move the nominations through June 1st, and we're just waiting, hopefully, for more nominations. I don't know if the city has or has not received any more.
This is Manager Goodsell. I have received one additional nomination form.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
But
That's all.
please continue to do your promotion.
Absolutely. That's all I have.
Okay, moving on to work action item 5, enhance senior programs, including intergenerational programming in collaboration with the Encinitas Youth Commission and other service organizations, computer assistance, Feeling Fit Club, and baby boomer offerings. Any updates?
This is Commissioner Angel. I'm not really sure what to say on this. I have continuously reached out repeatedly throughout the pandemic and since to find out an update on the Feeling Fit Club. And I'm concerned that I have yet to receive a response from the county. So I'm at a loss at what actions to do at this point. I'm certainly receptive to any feedback that any of the other commissioners or city staff might have.
This is Manager Goodsell. I can definitely follow up with a phone call to the county and see if I can nudge them for a response, and then I can let you know if I get one.
Okay, great. I know I have copied you on every single email that I have sent out thus far to keep you in the loop, and I've cited that I have done that within the email, so
Right.
I'm really confused and wondering why the county has not responded.
The last couple of emails that I sent, they responded that they were reviewing the MOU, and that was it. So
Okay.
I will try again.
Thank you.
And this is Commissioner Ling. I'm hoping that we can have an ad hoc meeting between this meeting and the next one to talk about some of the other possible activities that we want to start kicking off, particularly related to results of the intergenerational activity survey. So let's try to do that between now and the next meeting.
This is Commissioner Farley. I did a lot of research on an intergenerational garden and contacted a lot of elementary schools, and they were interested in starting something up with the senior community. So if you're open to hearing more about the information I got, then I can
Sure. That'd be great.
forward that.
Thank you. Work action item 6, establish a relationship with the county by actively participating in the Age Well San Diego 2.0 conversations, both virtually and in person as it relates to senior wellness. Do we have an update?
This is Commissioner Hanwitt. I attended the May 5th meeting of Aging and Independent Services Housing meeting, and during that time, they discussed goals and a timeline. They have 3 goals: reducing homelessness for seniors, creating more low-income housing, and promoting design that results in aging in place. It's a really interesting group to be part of because it's mainly representatives from nonprofits that work with the senior population. I'm going to have another meeting in June, and they're working towards figuring out how to implement these goals. That's the big deal.
Thank you. Item 7, work collaboratively with city staff and senior citizen commission ad hoc committees to determine programs requiring grant funding. Don't think. Do we have anything new this month?
No, this is Commissioner Hanwitt. I don't think we haven't submitted anything new, but I will say that if you get involved with a school with the garden, that's a forceful project to get funding for, because a lot of places like to fund kids. And then if you add seniors into that, you've got a good thing.
But it's a lot of paperwork. So that's a reminder too, as this particular work action does say working collaboratively with other ad hoc committees. So basically, if you do come up with activities that require or that could benefit from grant funding, be sure to let this group know. Thank you. Action item 8, visit senior centers in San Diego County for knowledge and make recommendations to staff on programs such as lunch program enhancements and services. Any updates?
Yes, Commissioner Koblenz, Commissioner Vander and I have spoken along with Commissioner Angel. We're in process of visiting. I visited a few. We have a few more set up. We'd like to acknowledge the new staff over at the Senior Nutrition Program. They're engaged, they're fun, and they seem to have the ability to, I think what we all want to do, kind of recreate what we're doing. So, and our intention is to visit more and bring back probably a report next month or so. So thank you.
All right, thank you. We're up to agenda item 8B, recommendation of a shade structure at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center.
Oh, Chair Ling, I think we skipped number 9.
Oh, I'm still on 8. Oh, item 9, research best practices. Sorry. let's
Goal
do
number
that.
9, sorry.
Thank you. Work plan item 9, research best practices as it relates to senior issues, and send letters of support as needed to city councils and commissions. So I have a comment for that to start with. It seems we do have a new chair in the Planning Commission. Last year, we did send a letter of, I guess, a letter of interest suggesting to the Planning Commission and City Council that they adopt, I'm sorry, I just drew a blank, universal design in future housing projects. And I would like to, I think I would like to suggest that we revisit that in the ad hoc group again. There's also an opportunity for us to perhaps send a letter of interest to the Mobility and Traffic Safety Commission regarding their current mobility plans as it affects seniors. So we can get that going pretty quickly. That would be great.
I have this is Commissioner Hanwood, I have a question about that. Whatever happens when you send a letter? I mean, we never really got a response of any kind. Do you usually get a response?
There was a response that they reviewed the letter and received it, and that was from the
That's it.
commission and from city council.
Just, not that they're going to do anything particularly about it. Okay.
So one of the things we can also do, and we've talked about this, is as private citizens, we can also attend and speak, just as, put in our 3 minutes and actually address these commissions. So that's something we can do individually. In fact, I think the next Planning Commission meeting is coming up in just a few days, so. All right. Thank you, Manager Goodsell. Moving on to
And
item,
This is Manager Goodsell. One more item to note. We will be going to city council, the work plan that's been completed, and then the new one for approval will be on the consent calendar, and that will be on June 15th. Chair Ling, I know you're going to be away.
Yes.
So Vice Chair Angel, would you like to attend that meeting in case there are any questions? Most likely it will just be on consent and approved, but if they have questions, you would be next in line.
Yeah, absolutely. That is June 15th. And
June
if,
15th at 6 PM at City Council meeting here, right here.
Absolutely. I'm
Thank you.
happy to attend. And then is there any specifics that I need other than just be there to answer questions on this specific work plan?
Correct, and I will be here as well
Perfect.
as the staff member.
Thank you.
thank you. Agenda item 8B, recommendation of a shade structure at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center. This is something we tabled at the last meeting. We wanted to go back and have the contractor review the actual installation, make sure that it was large enough to cover all 5 of the fitness stations, including the new one that's going to go in shortly. And apparently, it is going to cost us a little bit more, but there is some funding from the general fund that can be applied to this. So
This is Manager Goodsell. It'll be from the Senior Donation Fund
right,
account.
senior donation fund. Thank you.
However, we do need to receive approval for that.
Right, and that's why we are here. So I would like to, do I have a motion to approve the recommendation to purchase the shade structure?
This is Commissioner Hanwett. I'll make a motion that we approve the recommendation to purchase the Great Western Recreation Shade Structure over the fitness equipment at the Encinitas Community and Senior Center.
Commissioner Hanwood has made the motion to approve the recommendation to purchase. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Farley, I'll second.
Commissioner Farley seconds the motion to approve recommendation to purchase. So let's have a vote. Yeah, that one, this one.
I just hit the number? I did that. Maybe I did. That's all I do? Oh, I thought that was the vote. Sorry. That's okay. And then you can just touch it or use your mouse. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, looks like motion passes. Agenda item 9, informational items. Manager Goodsell, do you have an operations report?
I sure do. Thank you, Chairling. Regarding the statistics for April, we served 414 meals at the Congregate Nutrition Program and offered 123 one-way rides to and from the nutrition program. And there were a total of 659 non-nutrition program participants in April. And I'm glad to report that the summer recreation guide is out, and hopefully you received this one in the mail already. Registrations opened up yesterday. As far as special events go, we have a 7th annual Zero Waste Fair coming up, and that's in partnership with I Love a Clean San Diego County. And that will be on Saturday, June 25th from 10 to 1 p.m. at EUSD Farm Lab, which is located over on 441 Quail Gardens Drive. And then we've got some summer concerts that will be happening at Moonlight Beach. First one is Gypsy Dreams, and they will be performing on Sunday, July 10th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the next one will be Mark Easterday, performing on July 24th from 3 to 5 p.m. And then the next art night is going to be on Saturday, July 23rd from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And that concludes my report.
This is Rec Services Manager Staten. Manager Goodsell covered a lot of the items that I was going to bring up. I do want to add that the community grant will be awarded on June 15th. In addition to that, this past Saturday, the 14th, in Glen Park, we had a very successful movie night where we showed Encanto. Prior to the movie, we did have an activity for the children to create flowers for their mothers, post Mother's Day sort of celebration, but also tied into the movie because they have like beautiful flowers in the movie. I would guess maybe 300 or more community members were in attendance. We've received a lot of positive feedback from the community. The next movie night traditionally falls in fall and is at Cottonwood Creek. In addition, at movie night, we did have commissioners from the Park and Rec Commission attend to assist us with the Art and Economic Prosperity survey that we're doing throughout the city. For those of you that might be unaware of what that is, it's a generalized survey that we are participating in, wherein those that attend arts and rec programming throughout the city fill out a survey based on any funds they may have spent because of attending the event. No personalized information is gathered from the participants, and it's one person per group that fills out the survey. It can be conducted on a paper survey or on QR codes. We have it in different languages, and it really helps us to better understand the economic impact that the events that we provide to the community offer to support the businesses in the area. And that concludes my update.
Thank you. Agenda item 10, Commissioner or member initiated agenda items. I believe there are no prepared items today. Agenda item 11, future agenda items added by commission members. Are there any future agenda items that the commissioners would like to add for our next meeting? No? Item 12, commission reports, roundtable for all the commissioners. Do you have any announcements or reports you'd like to add to this meeting?
This is Commissioner Hanwitt. I sat on the community grant evaluation panel a few weeks ago, and we had 55 applications that all had to be read and scored, and they were. It's quite a process.
Any other commissioners?
Commissioner Martin, I don't know what the process for fully orienting me, so I'm just going to put out an idea. Is there any way that I can get caught up to speed on some of these goals that we have to sort of sit in on different discussions that are done ad hoc?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that I did when I first became a commissioner was I made it a point to try to meet one-on-one, and that was kind of a challenging time back then. So, but if there may be some opportunities for you to have a chat with each of the commissioners, just to come up to speed, and it can be over coffee or a FaceTime call or whatever. And that turned out to be a very effective way for me to understand what was going on within the commission and also get a feel for some of the dynamics of the group.
That would be lovely. Do I have contacts, email contacts with everybody?
This is Manager Goodsell. I can provide you with the contact information. And also, the monthly meetings are online, so you're more than welcome to listen to the recordings and, to get caught up to speed. Or you can also feel free to call me or any one of the commissioners.
Thank you.
Commissioner Koblenz, Commissioner Martin, welcome to our ad hoc, and I will be in touch with you and Christy, and we can chit-chat as soon as possible. And before I leave, I'll get your information.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other commissioners would like to add to the roundtable discussion? No? Well then, May 17th, 2022 Senior Citizen Commission meeting is hereby adjourned at 2:53 p.m. Thanks, everybody.